morning. This is 47 videos. Number one. The question is: on a given day, the flow rate F in cars per hour on a congested roadway is F equals to V over 22 plus 0.02 V squared, where V is the speed of the traffic in miles per hour. What speed will maximize the flow rate on the road? So we need to find the speed and probably the maximum flow rate as well. Since we already have a formula for the flow rate, I just did the f prime of v, and I did one times 22 plus 0.02 v squared minus v times the derivative of the bottom, which is 0.04 v, all over the 22 plus 0.02 v squared, and that squared as well. That gave me my f prime equals to 22 minus 0.02 v squared all over 22 plus 0.0 v squared. Yeah. Next we have to find out the critical numbers. So first I have to find where f prime of v was undefined, and which was the bottom. So which was 22 plus 0.02 v squared, quantity squared. So what I did was I set that equal to 0, and I took the square root of both sides, and that gave me 22 plus 0.02 v squared equals 0. I subtracted 22 from both sides, and I have 0.02 v squared equals negative 22. I divided both sides by 0.02, and I had v squared equals negative 1100. I then took the square root of both sides, and I realized that I was taking the square root of a negative number. Thus, v will not give me a real number on that side. So I realized I moved on to the second option on which we can get critical numbers, which was set the equation equal to 0. Set the equation equal to 0. So the only way where this equation will equal to 0 is if the numerator goes to 0. So we set the numerator equal to 0, and we subtract the 22 from both sides. That gives us negative 0.02 v squared equals negative 22. Divide negative 0.02 from both sides, and we have v squared equals 1100. We took the square root of both sides, and we got v equals plus or minus square root of 1100. Now speed only is a positive number, so I didn't think speed would ever be a negative number. So our zero or our only zero was v equals positive square root of 1100. I then took I just made a sine table, and I set my domain as 0 to infinity, and I did 0 to 1100, square root of 1100, and square root of 1100 to infinity. I used my factors, so I got plus and plus for the first sign and the first sign change, and second sign part I got negative and positive and negative. So I realized that f prime increased from 0 to square root of 1100, and when it got to square root of 1100, it started to decrease. So I realized that we have a match at square root of 1100. I then plugged it in. I plugged in square root of 1100 into the original equation, and I did the work, and I got f equals square root of 1100 over 44. That is the maximum flow rate. And the speed that will give us the maximum flow rate is square root of 1100 miles per hour is the maximum speed that will give us that will maximize the flow rate.